Every year in the NBA, 14 young men are drafted to non-playoff teams with high expectations. Before they are even able to legally drink in the United States, these men are expected to carry NBA franchises, to be cornerstones upon which weary fan bases may place their hopes and dreams. Such was the case with Cameron Payne, the 14th pick to the Oklahoma City Thunder in 2015. From the second that Payne was in the NBA, there was an expectation that he had to contribute. There was no grace period on the contending Thunder with Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant in their primes. While Payne fit in seamlessly in the locker room, his on-court game was rough around the edges. Over a season and a half with the Thunder, Payne appeared in most games under Billy Donovan, but he shot just 39% from the field and contributed only 5 points per game. So it didn't come as a surprise when Sam Presti flipped Payne and other small pieces to Chicago for Taj Gibson as a way of surrounding his star guard with more win-now pieces. While Chicago was a fresh opportunity, it was still a high-pressure, big market. In reports that would not come out until after Payne had already moved on, Bulls coaches seemed less than enthused about their new prospect after just a couple of practices. And as Payne continued to log starts in Chicago, the non-believers piled on harder and harder online. Finally, in January 2019, Payne was waived by the Bulls in the final year of his rookie contract. He was only 24 at the time. After Chicago, Payne's opportunities were even shorter-lived. He signed 2 10-day contracts with Cleveland in early 2019, but wasn't extended. Then Toronto signed him in the following offseason, but waived him before the regular season even began. Payne returned to the Texas Legends of the G League in early 2020 until COVID shut the season down, rendering his career prospects as grim as ever. But then, a phone call from an old coach.
I'm in the pool, and I wasn't even expecting no call from nobody. I just got a call from another team, and they declined, and they said no, we went with someone else, and I was like, well, I guess I'm gonna be watching it. Like, I got in the pool, he called me, and it was just like a dream come true for me, like all over again. Like, it kind of felt like I got drafted again. Like, I was with Monty, and like, I'm comfortable with him.
Payne signed with the 26 and 39 Phoenix Suns prior to the bubble. Of the 22 NBA teams going, Phoenix ranked 21st in record, and odds were slim that they would make the playoffs even if they could pull off a winning streak. For Payne, it was simply about not taking an opportunity for granted.
I'm grateful to be here because 4 months ago I went in the NBA, so this is a great opportunity, and I'm freaking happy.
And when it came down to business, Payne and the Suns delivered.
Payne way outside. Oh my goodness.
Payne on the attack, gets inside, pretty left hand finish for Cameron Payne.
I'm going to change his name from Payne to Pain for the other team.
Payne averaged 11 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists per game in the bubble on 49% shooting from the field and 52% from long distance. The Suns, as you almost surely know by now, went on a remarkable 8-0 stretch as a team, but still missed the playoffs. And that could have very easily been the end of Cameron Payne's story in Phoenix. Another GM could have written off his bubble performance as pure luck, being in the right environment at the right time. But James Jones doubled down on his investment and opted in on a 1-year team option for Payne in November. When the Suns didn't add any other guards via the draft, it became clear that Payne was being handed the keys to this team's primary backup point guard spot. And even after the dust from the Chris Paul trade settled, not everyone was comfortable with that.
But my worry currently is, the net rating with Booker and Paul at the same time is going to be through the roof. But then there's going to be 8 or 10 minutes a game where it's just Cam Payne running the show, and that net rating is going to be like minus 15 or minus 20 or something. That's my worry right now. And again, it's not that Cam Payne's a bad player. It's just that he's maybe being put into a role a little bit hastily.
But I was wrong to doubt Cam Payne. I was wrong because he has been every bit as valuable this season for the Suns as he was in the bubble. And soon to be a free agent again in just a few short months, this time Payne can present a polished resume of skills to what is likely shaping up to be a large group of interested GMs. Let's talk about those skills. Perhaps for the first time in his career, Payne's game resembles pass-first basketball. His shot attempts per 36 minutes are at a career low, while his assists are at a career high. Monty Williams' system stresses quick decisions with the basketball, and Payne has responded fabulously to this high-leverage style, with a career-high assist-to-turnover ratio. To get here, Payne has had to fine-tune his body control. Watch on this possession how Payne's body contorts itself while snaking the pick and roll. Here we see his body at an awkward angle, and in the past, this very well could have led to a tumble, or a dribble off the foot, or other unsightly turnover. But not for 2021 Cameron Payne. In the span of a second, Payne regathers himself, and he fires off a perfect pass to a lights-out perimeter shooter. Another example, where Payne straddles the baseline with only a few seconds left on the shot clock, drawing in the defense before giving up the ball at the perfect time to a shooter. Payne's poise under pressure has been terrific this year, and that's something that only comes with age. The reads he makes as a 26-year-old are simply wiser and sharper than what he could do at 21. And as he's gained confidence, it oozes on the court. Encouraged by Monty to push the pace without Chris Paul in the game, Payne has all sorts of tricks up his sleeve, from no-look dishes, to cross-court bullets, to straight-up splitting the defense in transition. Payne is still experimenting to find exactly where the upper bound of his playmaking talent lies. In the meantime, he's creating plenty of open looks for his teammates. Of course, many of these looks would vanish were it not for the threat of Payne's drive. Among 143 guards to log at least 100 drives this season, Payne ranks in the top third in scoring efficiency, shooting 51% on all of his drives to the rim. That places him barely beneath both Paul and Booker, mitigating the drop-off the Suns see when they go to their bench. Payne has become an underrated scorer in isolation, taking unique angles against bigs to will his way to the basket. He also puts great faith in his floater to get the job done, even if it looks a bit unconventional. Finally, Payne's shooting rounds out his offensive game as the complete package. Cam is knocking down 44% of his threes since joining Phoenix in the bubble, on a healthy dose of both pull-ups and spot-up shots. In transition, his ability to comfortably pull up into three can be massive in generating momentum, but as a spot-up shooter too, Payne's spacing makes him such a natural fit in lineups next to Devin Booker. He has range up to a few feet beyond the line and isn't afraid to flex that when he gets the chance. Ultimately, Payne's offense can't rival that of two all-stars in Paul or Booker, but it's been remarkably steady, and combined with the play of Dario Saric and Cam Johnson this season has created scenarios where the Suns' bench, to the surprise of many, often outranks the starters. If there's any one nitpick, it's that Payne could actually be more aggressive in looking for his own shot when leading the bench, as he was earlier in his career. Now, Payne is no defensive slouch either. In fact, the Suns narrowly have a better defensive rating with Payne on the court over Chris Paul, the 11-time All-Star. Where Cam has been especially amazing is in hustle situations, sacrificing his body for the greater good. Watch him in these clips as he switches onto big men and denies them positioning in the post. If you're not inspired by seeing a 180-pound man miraculously fend off dudes who are almost twice his size, then there's nothing I can do for you. But it's just one more example of the reason that Cameron Payne is back in the NBA with a vengeance, his renewed commitment to the little things on both ends. Soon, it will be playoff time for the Phoenix Suns, for the first time in 11 years. A lot of eyes will be on the Western Conference's current second seed, and by proxy, that means a lot of eyes will be on Payne. Cam has the chance to both exponentially increase his own market value and to help deliver to Suns fans the ring that they've been coveting for 50 long years, all in one fell swoop. And to do that, all he needs to do is continue to embody the traits that got him here in the first place: professionalism, diligence, and a commitment to team-oriented basketball. I don't know how well Payne will play for the Suns in the playoffs, but I do know that even though it took me a while to admit it, that's our guy. I'm glad he's our guy, at least for the next few months, and I reckon there's not an easier player on the Phoenix Suns to root for this season. If there's any story that needs to be told in greater depth, it's the story of Cameron Payne. That's all I've got today, guys. Hit me with your best Payne-themed comments below, whether that's stories, predictions, analysis, anything else you can think of. If you like this content in addition to the Suns highlights that we produce, please help us to create more of it by liking, subscribing, and sharing to other Suns or NBA fans who you think could learn a thing or two about Cam Payne. As always, I'll drop a link to our weekly Suns podcast in the description in case you're looking for more content to listen to. So long, and see you next time.